openly criticized them for backing down. Castro, needing the Soviets as close allies, didn't like this and arranged for Guevara to leave Cuba.
Guevara in 1965 left Cuba in order to foment revolution in other areas of the world. He first went to the Congo, and then he went to Bolivia.
Che Guevara's stay in Bolivia was short-lived, and he was tracked down by the Bolivian army with the aid of the CIA and captured on October 7th, 1967, and killed 2 days later.
Certainly, Che Guevara has a legacy as a Latin American revolutionary, but his most enduring legacy is his reduction in illiteracy in Cuba and the formation of universities for everyone.
Today, Che Guevara remains a controversial figure, with his face gracing t-shirts worldwide as the symbol of anti-establishment and change.
Che Guevara is revered in Cuba today. You'll see him on a peso note. School children each day give a daily chant to him. The idea is that to be the ideal man or woman, you should be like Che.
At 3-Day Suit Broker, we have so many suits at such low prices, it can be hard to choose only one. Well, right now, you don't have to. During our buy one, get one free suit sale, you can buy one suit at our low regular price and get a second one of equal or lesser value absolutely free. Imagine paying for a top quality suit and getting a second one for free. Find the latest styles and top brands at 3-Day Suit Broker. You won't want to miss out on this special deal. Hurry in for best selection.
Che Guevara was a doctor, a revolutionary, and to the Latin American anti-establishment, a Christ-like martyr figure.
Ernesto Che Guevara was born on June 14, 1928 in Rosario, Argentina, into a large upper-middle-class family. As a youth, he excelled in school and went on to study medicine at the University of Buenos Aires before graduating in 1953.
While Che was still a medical student, he traveled 5,000 miles through Latin America, observing the plight of the Latin American peasants.
He found poverty was widespread, and he blamed it on imperialism and capitalism. He determined that the solution to this was communism.
While in Guatemala in 1954, Guevara was incensed by the American-backed military coup of President Jacobo Arendza's socialist government. Later that year, Che met Fidel and Raul Castro while visiting Mexico and joined the revolutionary cause to overthrow the Batista government in Cuba.
He landed as the doctor for the invading force, but the invading force was quickly dispersed and lost most of its people, and Guevara switched from being the doctor to being a military man and ended up being Castro's second in command.
Following Castro's 1959 victory in the Cuban Revolution, Che Guevara was instructed to round up and deal with former Batista officials.
Che Guevara organized hundreds of trials and put to death possibly 500 or even more Batista supporters.
The international community saw him as a murderer as a result of this. However, the Cuban people wanted most of these people to be killed for their crimes.
As one of the few people Fidel Castro trusted, Guevara was named head of the Ministry of Industry and the Cuban Bank.
Before Castro took charge in Cuba, it was really a capitalist economy. What Guevara did was he made the change to a communist system by turning over the land to the peasants and then nationalizing the banks and industry. Guevara advised Castro that he should align himself closer with the Soviet Union. In fact, it was Guevara who invited missiles into Cuba from the Soviet Union.
During the Cuban Missile Crisis, Guevara wanted the Soviets to attack the United States and openly criticized them for backing down. Castro, needing the Soviets as close allies, didn't like this and arranged for Guevara to leave Cuba.
Guevara in 1965 left Cuba in order to foment revolution in other areas of the world. He first went to the Congo, and then he went to Bolivia.
Che Guevara's stay in Bolivia was short-lived, and he was tracked down by the Bolivian army with the aid of the CIA and captured on October 7th, 1967, and killed 2 days later.
Certainly, Che Guevara has a legacy as a Latin American revolutionary, but his most enduring legacy is his reduction in illiteracy in Cuba and the formation of universities for everyone.
Today, Che Guevara remains a controversial figure, with his face gracing t-shirts worldwide as the symbol of anti-establishment and change.
Che Guevara is revered in Cuba today. You'll see him on a peso note. School children each day give a daily chant to him. The idea is that to be the ideal man or woman, you should be like Che.
These drawings and images, and it's definitely an immersion education in a much wider world of art. And Dronovich would apparently open up some magazines from Europe and put them on tables in the office and say, "Penn, you need to take a look at this." So an amazing life for this young man to have worked with Dronovich. And he had a similar experience when he comes, after several travels, he ends up working in Vogue, and he works with a man there named Alexander Lieberman, who was art director there. Another one of those great characters, also born in Russia, also passed through Paris. And he and Penn, for most of Penn's career, worked very collaboratively together. So, I think that we have to think that the end result, which now we're looking at Penn's images, is some sort of steeped brew of influence and style and design and creativity that Penn forged in his mind, that made Penn Penn.
And I think at that young age, if you're open, you can be like a sponge, you can absorb a lot, and then use that as the foundation of building blocks for your own reconfiguring and your own semantics. You touched very briefly on, well not briefly, but on some of the artists coming through the Bizarre Office and surrealism and surrealist photography. Can you tell us a bit more about the relationship Penn has to surrealism and also the relationship surrealism has to the camera?
And one of those several travels, he ends up working in Vogue, and he works with a man there named Alexander Lieberman, who was art director there. Another one of their several travels, he ends up working in Vogue, born in Russia, all there named Alexander Lieberman, who was art director there. Another one of those great characters, also born in Russia, also passed.
Where's my puppy? He's over here.
Hold on, I'm recording, don't come over here. You're already in the shot.
Oh.